Zisteau Plays Minecraft, episode number 58. I've just been standing over here trying to get a look at the Firelands. We're going to lay out some paths in just a moment. First, we'll go over a little bit of some things I did since last time. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Happy New Year. It's the new year. It's 2016. In just a few months, 2 months, somewhere in February. I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head. But in February will be my 5-year anniversary of making videos on YouTube, which is pretty crazy. That date has snuck up on me quite unsuspected. I've been snucked up on. Done some work on the Cavern stuff. We're going to go over that. We're going to plant some saplings because I need to sort of see what it's going to look like with the full shape of the tree. Hi, K9. So I did some things. I done some further work on that. We'll go look at that in a second. And I reworked the path. I think I mentioned last time that the path was obscuring the visuals. We couldn't quite see down there with the big path obscuring it. It was right there. Cut it off there. Currently, there's no way to get up to the signboard or the mob farm, and we don't have a path to get up to our water system or to the patch museum over in that direction. We're going to fix at least one of those problems today. But now we can see down there. I don't quite like the exact layout of this path. Let me come up here to a perspective. I'll show you what I mean. I like this bit right here. So we've got a path come in the entrance, and it splits, goes up there, comes up here, splits. All that's kind of cool. I like the way it looks. It just, it's working for me. But down here, I think this is just too long of a straight path with no bends in it. So next time I modify it, it takes forever to break stairs in this patch, by the way. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take out this flat section. I'm going to have it go down, and I'm going to have it bend closer to the water, just so there's not quite so much of a long section there. I think that'll be a little bit better. So I was looking around at the coordinates and how we might get a path up to the patch museum. And after looking at them, this is actually the best spot. I took out the furnaces and the I took out one of the crafting benches, so that it still looks mostly like a path. So instead of this just being the storage area, this is going to be a continued path going up this way. And we're going to chop this down, and we're going to have a staircase going up here. It's going to connect up to our existing path. Won't require too much modification. Do that in a bit. So that's going to go up to the patch museum. I don't know how we're going to connect to that. We'll solve that in the fullness of time. But let me show you what we're going to do. So I've reworked these platforms a little bit. These ones are the same because they work for the way oak leaves work, for the way they grow. We've got some grass growing, by the way. It's expanded. And I'm just going to sort of leave a block or two of grass on either side. So when I decide what we're going to do with it, where it needs to go, it'll be available. But I realized I made these platforms for the saplings without really considering the size, the amount of space that a tree needs to grow. So the spruce trees, which we're going to do first, they need the most space. They need the most space of any of the trees. They need 5 by 5 out around them. I don't think it takes into account the layer that the sapling is on, but the layer above it needs 5 by 5. So it needs from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've extended the platform a little bit, made it a little bit bigger. Each platform is going to hold 4 saplings. And I'm going to plant all 4 now. And what's in the middle here, I don't know. Doesn't really matter right now. That's enough space for those 4 to grow. And then I'll put these here too. What I'd like to do a little bit later is work on some kind of wall design and then a roof thing. Wall design and a roof thing. And before we work on it, I want the trees to grow. This should be enough space for all 8 trees to grow. One of the other things I want to work on is I want a path system through the Firelands like we have in the wetlands. The wetlands over there. So what I'm going to do... Oh, there's a little bit of grass. That's okay. We're just going to kind of blaze a trail and lay out some breadcrumbs in the form of cobblestone. And then we're going to, basically I'll look at it from a distance and see if it looks right. If it looks like it's hugging the land in an eye-pleasing manner, basically. And modify it like that. That's basically how I would do something like this. Just lay out a few blocks at a time. Dig through this stuff. Tell you what, let's just get through here. We know it's going to hug this, more or less. So let's just get over here, and then we can move quicker once we get to the actual lava. Don't want to do too much of this slow, grindy stuff on camera. Just want to get the important bits done. So we got to dig through all this. I'm still surviving, more or less, on all of the diamonds that we brought back from the Sea of Flame. Haven't had to go actually mining in ages. Not since we did that, at least. Okay, so we made it through. We can basically just push our way through here. Okay, so this is where the path's going to go, through here. Right there, and the rest of that, I'll dig it out later. I just kind of want to be able to see from a distance. Although, the pattern here, there's cobblestone in the ground. I think I'll be able to figure out what I've been doing. So I think we want to cross there and make a bridge, and then go up the hill. I thought about going to the other side, but if we went across the other side... Oh, it's getting dark already, man. If we went across the other side... then we would... Oh, God, I almost jumped in the lava. We wouldn't have a really good spot for going up. Do I still have that bed over here? Ooh, I do. Okay, let's hop in the bed as soon as the sun sets. Then we're going to go up, and once we've laid that out and it's pleasing to the eye, then what we'll do is we'll... Oh, is there a monster? No monsters! Okay, there's a thing in this patch. When you sleep in a bed and you're not in a small enclosed room, there's a chance that a skeleton or a zombie will spawn right on top of you and hit you, and the night will not be skipped. Okay, so from here, I think we want to just, let's just conform to the landscape and go up the hillside like that. And once we get here, we've got this little lava lake. We could cross that, or we could go around this side. Let's go get advantage. Let's kill a pig for some extra food. Always on the lookout for pork chops. Another thing we could do is set up a wheat farm somewhere. I've got a very small one in the Rift base, but I don't go over there to get wheat. We might want a dedicated wheat farm for the eventual breeding of cows, I guess, more than for the making of bread. Okay, so we're here. We need to get over here, and basically I just want to look for terrain that we can embed the path in the side of. So this is kind of comes down in a sharp kind of vertical face right there. So we could put it right there. Could come right through here. And then from here we could kind of go either way around that. I guess that's not really... We could go either way. Either one looks kind of good. But from here, how do we get up there? And then once we're there, how do we get down? Whoop! You see that? The, okay, sun's rising. The little land disappeared and came back. We're going to end up here, and then we're going to end up spilling out the other side into the alpha terrain. Okay. Tricky. I think maybe like right through here is good. And I want to come out just under... I don't have a base over here like the Rift, but I want to kind of have a similar thing where we'll have a rail line and a path where we can walk or we can take a rail line. Someday in the future, we'll take a horse. So we'll just come through like this. Just follow the terrain. And we can make this work. Little cave. Have I never been in this cave? Looks like it. As I mentioned, I haven't had to go caving, and when I do, I tend to go out towards new terrain because... Ooh. Oh. Oh my. Okay. Apparently... Wow. Let's go take a look at this. Have we seen this before? I don't think so. I don't think we've seen this before. Took a break from making videos in this world. I don't think we've seen this. Huh. Apparently, the Sea of Flame survived the Great Cataclysm of 4.7. That's very interesting. Okay, but anyway, yeah, we've got kind of a basic idea. I'll refine it, but I think we'll do most of that off camera because it's just boring, mundane stuff. So, yep, changed my mind just a little bit. Instead of going up the hill and around that the hidden lake up on the top, I decided to go straight through along the edge there. I was looking back at the wetlands and I realized the thing that was cool about the path is that it winds along the edge of the water. So I thought, let's wind along the edge of the lava. So we come out there, go around, cross over, go across this little lava fall thing, and over there, and from there it'll go up, and then through, and then over to the edge that we saw before. All right, so I'm still waiting on the silly spruce saplings to grow. I could just bone meal them, but I've got something else I want to fiddle with. So I've got a little bit of path that I added to get us up to the Patch Museum, and that gives us another, like, a little section of blank gray wall that I want to add something to, and so we're going to do another note block thing, but this one will be different because we're going to use a minecart and detector rails, and we figured this out before. You can't power... Did I leave some here? You can't power note blocks directly with just by powering the block. You gotta send out redstone, or you can use a repeater if you want to have them all next to each other. These ones will not be powered. And in fact, if we did something like this, I don't think that's going to get power either, but we can give it a little go and see what happens. Yeah, no, that is not going to get power. So the only thing to remember is we've got to pull the power out with redstone, or we could also invert a torch, but that will just delay the signal. I think we'll just do it directly with repeaters and redstone. So we could do consecutive detector rails and then have some kind of booster to keep the minecart going, and then more detector rails, or we could do it like this. I think this is probably the best way to do it. So we can have a detector rail booster, so the minecart will just go straight through, and we'll also power all of the guys we want to power. And those guys are set up properly to get powered. And then if we want to, we could do something like, I don't have any repeaters, but we could have a note block there and a note block there, and we could just put a repeater on a tick delay, so it'd go do-do-do-do-do-do. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what we're going to do. And we are going to put that little design. We can go check on the trees. What time is it? Okay, it's still early in the afternoon. So we're going to do that in the new little tunnel that leads to the Patch Museum, just so I don't have another smooth wall with nothing there. Okay, thank you, music blocks. Right there is going to be the new path. Let's just see, are the trees grown? A few of them have. If they're not grown by the time I'm done, I'm just going to bone meal them, because they take forever sometimes. So here's the path. This goes up, and it connects actually almost exactly. I moved it over a few blocks. The old one was right there. The new one is there. Hey, spider! New is here. It's quite direct, but we've got this little stretch of wall here with nothing. And I figure what we might do is just replace it with some glass. And then when we walk up and down, we can see the minecart go along, kind of like a visual thing would be neat. And hit all of those, detector rails, set off some note blocks, just add a little bit of spice to an otherwise boring pathway. So here's the design I went with. We've got a minecart there, triggered by pressure plates, comes up and back down and goes in a loop. Kind of interesting thing I figured out, this detector rail thing, it only gets triggered on the way up. So we can have a note here. But we do not have one on the way back down because it just doesn't trigger. I don't know why. Whatever, who cares? It doesn't work, so we're not going to use it. So this is the kind of the configuration with the most notes. I was trying to see if I could put a lot of notes in a little space, and I kind of think this is not a bad stab at it. I kind of like making little note block things like this. When I first started playing with note blocks, I made this, as you might expect, I made this gigantic gigantic note block thing with like variable beats and all kinds of things you can modify. And I can't do that now because I don't have pistons. Maybe that's why I started doing these things, which are simpler. Once we do get the pistons back, I will probably do that again because it was fun and it worked in single player. Did not work in multiplayer. Okay, so anyway, there's no tune to it. So let's give it a tune. We got some bass notes, and then there's a little bit of piano at the end. That, so let's say, let's see, let's go 1, 2, 3. Is that what I wanted? 1, 2, 3? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. That should be an A. So it comes up here, boom, 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 whatever, and then it slows down a bit here. It slows down right about there. It runs out of juice. Then it hits the booster and comes back around, and it plays the same 5 notes, save 5 bass notes in reverse, and also hits a few piano notes. Anyway, okay, so a dupe. So I want to do the same note twice. Those are both A's, and we're going to have a C here. And then an E. And then a D sharp. And then a D. I think I did that the right number of notes. Yeah, okay, so I'm using a pentatonic scale this time. I had a mental slip. I said that the G scale, and those aren't tuned, obviously. I said the G scale has no flats or sharps. That's only true for the arpeggio. I was thinking of the C scale for that. A number of you corrected me on that. All right, I think that sounds pretty cool. That doesn't sound cool because it's not tuned yet. Just a little riff. So here's the bass riff. And then here on the other side it goes down. And then it's mirrored by this, a little bit different. So that's just creating thirds in the scale with these guys, or just not actually in the pentatonic scale, but never mind, never mind. Yeah, okay, I like it, but it's too fast. So let's just try one little modification, and then we'll close it up, and we'll just leave it be, and we'll create new things somewhere else. Okay, let's try it one more time. It'll be a little slower. Okay, cool enough. Good. One thing I want to do, I want to get rid of the torches. Yeah, there is redstone under here. I want those separate. I'm kind of curious if we're going to get... Okay, it's still separated, even though it's a transparent block. I know at some point they changed the... Oops. They changed the way that glowstone works. We're a long way from there, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't know if it would change it in this manner, but I know you can pass redstone signals up around glowstone in interesting ways. I don't know, but I don't have to worry about it right now. I wasn't sure if it would make this a straight signal or if it would connect down with the redstone under here, even though there's a block in the way because it would be glowstone. Okay, no torches. We can put some glass up, and I will probably add some detail back there eventually, and get rid of this to restore the water in Mr. Patch Museum. That's pretty neat. I just kind of like having a little something. Every time I walk by from the Patch Museum, we just get a little note block thingy. There's a monster creeping up on us. We'll hear that too. Early warning defense system, although it's not the best because the note blocks are not instantaneous. I did smelt up some more glass. And then here it is. All right, let's go take a look at the trees. They have grown good enough. So what we're going to do, we're going to do like we did in Survival Island, and we are going to put a panel back there and then an arch over top. Yeah, okay, I think we can definitely see it well enough. I just wanted to make sure. So now I'll start digging it out. We're going to have a layer of reeds, a layer of wood. It's going to look awesome. So, I dubbed the first draft. Changed up these things a little bit. I thought it made sense to have a little path here to get to there, and I changed it to wood so that we wouldn't just have cobblestone pathways going... Well, they're a little crazy, but we don't want them to be too crazy. We need a different material here. It kind of grinds my gears. We've only got like 3 different things we can use. Maybe we could put some logs here, you know, like wood, that type of wood, or one of the other ones. We have a column on either side. It's or an arch thing. And I decided to make it 3 blocks, like there'll be one block on that side. So this is only 2/3 of it. Just to give it a little bit more sculptural quality. So you can, it didn't look very good, only 2 blocks and having them both be the same. I think that looks all right. Banner looks good. Once I have the other side done, I'm going to change this wood in the back. This is actually what we did in Survival Island. We had wood in the background. Once we have both of them, I'm going to change one to have water behind the reeds. And we'll pick which one. I think we're going to want, in this base, I just feel like we want a lot of water. I've got these water things going, and they were working. Maybe we want more water through here. And the next thing I'm thinking is that in order to just vary up the gray colors of every damn thing in this patch, I'm going to extend some of this grass down here. And since I only have the dirt there, I was originally, like when I grew this grass over here, it changed, it spread like a contagion, like a plague of zombies into here. But we don't have to do that anymore because there's only the grass, or only the dirt where the tree is growing. So it's okay to just kind of like let the grass go a little berserk a little bit. Give it a big sword. That's a manga reference. Never mind. Okay, so we got that, and we'll have like little pockets of grass here and there, and we may put some like plants and types things on there just to give it some flavor. The ground, I guess we could turn it into slabs. This seems kind of boring. we need something here. I might turn these to wood. I put the wood away. But I think it's coming along, and once we have like the whole tunnel done, I think it's gonna look pretty cool. But we've been doing kind of the same kind of thing for the last couple episodes. We've been doing note block thing and the tree cavern thing. So I think next time we'll do something totally different, and maybe a little bit of this, or just totally different. Anyway, that's it for the episode. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you later. Take it easy. Have a good day. Bye-bye.